but there's nothing to show really.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Bismillah. Good to go.
All right.
We're live?
Yep.
All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. Inshallah, everyone is doing well. Jumaa Mubarakah. I pray that each and every single one of you are enjoying a blessed Ramadan. I pray that your fasts are going well, and I pray that your Friday is blessed. Alhamdulillah, we have with us here today Dr. Nadia Qatranji, who's going to be giving us our weekly bayan, inshallah ta'ala. So please give her your time and give her your attention, inshallah. She's a well-known scholar of the Quran in the Phoenix Valley, and she's a well-known educator. She brings people to the Kitab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Sunnah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we ask that you honor her and that you give her your attention, inshallah, for a few moments. And we have a few announcements for you before we end today's stream, inshallah. So Dr. Nadia, tafaddali, inshallah.
Thank you so much, Imam Omar. That's very humbling. Thank you so much. And Ahmed, thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's really an honor being with you, and especially an honor being with you during the last 10 nights and last 10 days of Ramadan. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the last 10 days of Ramadan, and especially Laylatul Qadr, given that we're in this time. So let's just get it started by mentioning some ahadith that the Prophet ﷺ says about this night, the night of Qadr, and then we can delve into what we want to discuss. So as you, many of you know, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man qama laylatul qadri imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi." Whoever prayed and got up and prayed in the night of the night of the Qadr, all of his sins are forgiven from whatever he has done before. And he said to actually search for Laylatul Qadr during the odd nights of Ramadan. Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha said that when the last 10 days of nights of Ramadan approach, the Prophet ﷺ would just like tighten himself up and he brings to life to his nights, and he would wake up his family. And she asked him, if I witness Laylatul Qadr, what should I say? He said, say, Allahumma innaka afu, tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Ya Allah, you are the one who likes to wipe the mistakes and the sins. And you are the afu. You are the one who wipes the mistakes, and you love to do that. So wipe for me my mistakes. So that's Laylatul Qadr, and that's the last 10 days of Ramadan. So now let's look at you and me. Let's look at where are we at? What's our condition? You know, and we might be in many spaces and in different spaces. Some of us might be like, yeah, I got this, you know, this is great. I love the last 10 nights. I just pray and it's great. But a lot of the times it could be that there's some technicality to it. It just becomes mechanical, and, you know, you're just not being able to put your hand on what it is that's missing. And sometimes you might be like, you know, when it was during when we were able to go to the masjid, it was awesome, it was great, but now just you want me to do it by myself? This is way too hard. Or you might be something like, I had a spark before, but I just like can't connect. There's something missing for me, and I don't know how to get that back. Or it could be along the lines of just like, you know, I have work in the morning, I really can't pray at night. Or you don't know what I'm dealing with. There's so much on my plate that I really can't even think about anything else. So you might be in so many spaces, you know? So we'll get back to this in a second. Let's park all of these conditions for a moment, and let's just take a moment and look. Why is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do that? Why is Laylatul Qadr there? Why does he want us to get to that? What's the point? Of course, there's the obvious answer, which is a huge answer. The fact that Laylatul Qadr is better than 1,000 months. So if you actually get Laylatul Qadr, it's as if you worshipped for 84 years. That's another lifetime. That's huge, you know, to be able to get all of that for the reward of it, the ajr of it, what you can have for yourself, inshallah, for Yawm al-Qiyamah. That's huge. That's one, right? But a lot of the times, like for many of us, it's like, okay, great, you know, I mean, but we don't get connected that much to it. So what else? What else? Why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even want to give us this opportunity? Well, I want to ask you this question. And I really want you to look honestly with me. How is life going for you right now? What is going on in your life right now? Are you like kind of, if the job is going well, I'm happy and content, you know, relations are well, happy and content, things just like don't go well, I'm just like upset and sad, and I'm, you know, just going up and down? My happiness is actually circumstantial based on what's going on in my life. If things are well, perfect, great, and you know what happens? I'm just like always worried about these things not to change. I want these things that are making me happy to be the same. And if not, I'm always struggling and striving to get there. And once I get there, I look at it just like, yeah, it's just like that happiness that happens for moments, and then afterwards it just goes away. And then I'm back to square one again to find another source to make me happy. That's the source of happiness that we usually get to know and understand. It's a happiness that's not real, it's not lasting, it's not deep, and it's really not fulfilling. It's just temporary. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just because this is the nature of the happiness that happens through your nafs, through your, basically your needs and your wants and what your nafs wants and your ego. That's what the type of happiness that you get. It's circumstantial. It's like for moments, and we all like that. We all want that. We're never going to get, we're always going to be happy when a certain meal is there. We're always going to be happy when something comes up. We're always going to be sad if something doesn't come up. That's the case. However, it's like you're chasing something all the time. It's like you're worried all the time. There's something major that's not there. That's not fulfilling. You see, because the access to real happiness is not here. It's not in this realm. It's not in the realm of your nafs. It's actually in the realm of your ruh. It's the realm of your soul. That's where you get the real true contentment and happiness. That's where you get satisfied. So now, since we're talking about your ruh, that's when when you nourish it, when you bring life to it, when you make it strong, is when it gives you that contentment. It's when it gives you that happiness, and the source of it, since the ruh is from our creator, the source of it is to connect it to its creator. That's what brings it. That's what gives us its satisfaction and its contentment. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought this whole thing. He wants us to connect to him because he knows this is what gets us to be fulfilled in life, in this life and in the hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always talks about this. He says, you don't have, when you are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you don't have worries. You don't have sorrows here and in the hereafter. It's always mentioned that way. So, well, great. So now what's the access? Great. Okay. Well, it's my soul to give it to, is to give that. It's just like what it occurs to a lot of people. This is just like, you know, I don't know how to get that. And it's like too much. I don't know how to do that. Well, you know, to get to access that, there's an ayah in the Quran that's actually in Surah Al-Qadr that talks about Laylatul Qadr. And it says, you know how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, we brought it down in the night of Qadr. And what makes you think what Laylatul Qadr is? Laylatul Qadr is better than 1,000 months. Angels and the ruh come down in it all the time, by the permission of their caretaker from every matter. And then he says, Salamun hiya, peace it is, hatta matla'i al-fajr, until the rising of the dawn. Salamun hiya, peace it is. It brings that peace. And that's what brings fulfillment, satisfaction to human beings. So when you look at the root word of the word peace, of the word salam, it's salima. And salima in Arabic means to be sound, to be healthy. Like you say, a person is salim, he's healthy, he's not sick. And to be whole, intact, like there's nothing missing. It's all perfect, it's all together. So to achieve salam, to achieve that contentment, to achieve that peace, that's what you really do need. You need to have that restoration for yourself. You need to have whatever it is that's not intact, whatever it is that's not healthy, whatever it is that's missing to bring back, to be able to access that peace. What do we mean by that? Well, what I mean is, if you have something broken as a relationship with maybe a parent, there's no peace. There's no access to peace. If you have a broken relationship with a spouse, if you have a spouse, there's no peace. If you have a broken relationship with your boss, same thing. Or maybe you're doing things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like. That actually does ruin your relationship with him. There is no peace there, because he is the source of your life. Or just whatever you're doing, just you want to start looking. You really seriously want to start looking. Because I mean, you could go and you could pray, you could do things, but if you don't have that restoration of yourself, you don't have that access. And really, you guys, this is, I mean, I would take this really seriously. What's at stake here for you is your own fulfillment, contentment, and happiness in your life. That's what's at stake. So I would take this very seriously. You know, when you go back and we talked about all the things that we were like, all the spaces that we are in, this is coming from that. It's coming from, well, there's some barrier between me and my access to my ruh. And I got to deal with that barrier. And by the way, it doesn't matter. All of us are included in that. I do that every night. And I come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with that, like, okay, what barrier do I have? Because guess what? As long as you're a human being, you are going to have these barriers. You are going to have these attachments. You are going to have these weaknesses. You're going to have these times when you're down. You're going to have faults. And this deen is actually tailored to perfectly match your nafs and to match your weaknesses and your attachments and your faults. This deen is not made for angels. It's made for human beings who fall, who trip, who have barriers, who get things like broken. So I mean, really, you just want to get down and just like be real. Don't ask, do I have anything? Say, where do I have that? And don't just be deceived. Just, no, things are cool. Well, you're actually robbing yourself of the opportunity of a true connection. Even if you feel that things are good and I'm praying, it's like you don't know what's available in this relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't know what's available in that contentment, in giving you that dimension, that depth of your happiness in life and of your joy and of your fulfillment in life. And if you could say, well, I don't see it. I don't know what it is. Well, go and pray to Allah. Ask him. When I was in high school, it was just like, for me, deen was not something that I was at all attracted to. I was actually just like, please keep me away from these people, just because I didn't want to be associated with anybody that is like backwards. Basically, deen was kind of like, in religious people were backward people. So I didn't want to be that. And you know, I mean, I remember it was in September. Ramadan was in September, and you know, people were saying, yeah, well, it could be Laylatul Qadr tonight. And I said, okay, you know, let me just give it a shot. So I remember very vividly, I sat down and said, Ya Rabbi, you know, I mean, I know your deen is haq. I know it's the truth. I have no doubt about it. I just have no appetite to it. I just don't want it. I don't want to be like that. Just lay it flat out to Allah. What do you need to fake? Don't fake anything. Say what is going on. He actually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the one who wants you to come and complain to him. He wants you. He says, if my servants ask you, if my ibad ask you about me, I'm close. I'm very near. I answer the call of those who call me. So just go and tell him, Ya Allah, I don't know what it is, but I'm just not being able to. Or I know what it is, but I'm just not being able to get rid of it. Or I don't know how to restore that relationship. Or I don't know how to get off of that addiction that I have that's robbing me from being with you. I'm just like so addicted to it that it's actually beyond my capacity. Go ask him. And I promise you, mean, he says, he promised, he said, if you ask me, I'm going to answer you. Don't miss this opportunity. This is a lifetime opportunity. And I remind you again, really, it's your own life and it's your own fulfillment and it's your own joy. It's your own happiness. Be real and be true to yourself. Don't deceive yourself. Just like say, okay, well, let me see. Because otherwise, you know what? If that's not the case, our ruh would be just flying and thriving and just like enjoying everything. If that's not the case, then what is it? That's our humanity. We have that amazing duality as people. We have the nafs and we have the ruh. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made our deen tailored perfectly for that. So use it. Use it so you can be fulfilled, so you can enjoy whatever it is that your nafs has and be able to restore whatever it is that your nafs makes and be able to enjoy the ruh. That's the beauty of our deen. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. That's why he said, you know, I mean, Surah Taha, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Taha, ma anzalna alayka al-Qur'ana litashqa. We did not reveal this deen, for this book for you, this Qur'an unto you to make you miserable. Or so you are miserable. This deen is actually to give you the fulfillment that you are after. That's what this whole deen is about. So when you are just not having that inner fulfillment, then you got to start searching. What is the barrier? What is it that's in my way? What is it that's stopping me from doing that? And reach out. You know, if it's just something, you can reach out to people who you can trust, that can support you in this journey, that can support you in having that access. And believe me, there is no contentment in life that once you get to that, and once you reach to that, that would be more beautiful than being with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And basically, Ramadan, this last 10 days in Ramadan resets you and sets you for the whole year. It gives your ruh that rejuvenation that's needed for the whole year. Don't be stingy to yourself. Even if you are a person who thinks that you've got it, don't be stingy to yourself. Go to the next, like, see what's there for you. See what's available. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open the doors that maybe, you know, you close them, to help you open those kinds of doors, to knock down all the barriers and to help you see those barriers, and to give you actually the courage to actually deal with those barriers, because many times those barriers are very daunting, that we just don't want to deal with them. You know, those uncomfortable conversations with certain people that we have, or those addictions that we have, or those whatever things that our humanity can give us and can throw at us. So that's my message. And I'm honored to share with you this message. And this is the space that I'm in. And that's why I wanted to say what I'm saying. And for me, that's what makes this deen real. And if you don't interact with it this way, to me, it just becomes a rote thing, and it becomes something very mechanical. And we're just kind of like doing what we need to do just because, you know, just going through the motion. I will not want to settle for anything other than a ruh that is thriving and that's being nourished. So with that being said, I pray and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you have a beautiful rest of Ramadan. We still have, tonight is an odd night. It's the night of the 23rd. We still have a full week, 7 more days to go. So take full advantage of it. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you and showers you with all the mercy and all the love and all the compassion and all the acceptance and the guidance and the opening and the light to actually give us a life that is fulfilled with intention, with purpose, and to have us live, be a gift for humanity, inshallah, and be a healing for humanity. Humanity is in need for these kinds of things. It's a need to be able to be restored, to restore its relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And inshallah, if we are being able to restore it, and if we are alive, inshallah, we'd be a source for that. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us all and to bring synergy within all of our community and with our people, and to align our hearts for his sake, and with loving for each other and caring for each other and be compassionate for each other. And inshallah ta'ala, may Allah accept from all of us and keep us in your dua. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad.
Jazakallah khairan, Dr. Nadia. Those were beautiful reflections. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give our souls the relationship that we crave with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what we truly desire. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a fulfillment through our relationship with Him, inshaAllah ta'ala. Jazakumullah khairan, everybody, for tuning in. Just a few announcements that I wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of. Number one, we are still continuing with our schedule. 5:30, inshallah, we're going to have recitation of the Quran. And then at 9 p.m. as well, we're going to be having the tafsir, contemplating the Quran, each juz'u by juz'u. And we're also going to be having the dua of the night that has been compiled by our beloved Dr. Shabib. And we're also going to be having our Quranic recitation as well to top off the evening. We're also going to be, inshallah, in the coming last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan, we're going to start we haven't asked anyone for anything yet. But now we're going to be asking our brothers and sisters who have the means and who have the blessings and who have the generous heart that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has endowed them with to increase in generosity this month of Ramadan. Non-profits, including masajid, have been hit just as badly as businesses. So we're going to be asking our brothers and sisters to, if you can afford to have a monthly pledge to the masjid, that we ask that you plan that, inshallah, and when we send out the links for it, that you support us. And if you can give us anything, any donations that you can afford to give, any donations that you feel like is worthy of our mosque. We have had every single day of the week and most days of the week a variety of programming that we have evolved, we've adapted. And alhamdulillah, this is your financial help is what helps us do this. We don't want to be reactive. Alhamdulillah, ICC was very proactive, as were many of the other mosques, with the Council of Imams, with Mufti Didmar, with Imam Ahmed Muharram in Chandler. We were all proactive. We tackled all of these issues as fast as we could, and we looked for solutions of how we can keep our community connected to the mosque, especially in the month of Ramadan. And we have dozens of volunteers who've been coming in and out of meetings, who've been coordinating a bunch of programs, who've been recording themselves with their own daily reflections of the month of Ramadan, who have been contributing to teaching youth. Right? My daughter, who's 4 years old, enjoys every Saturday, the Dar al-Arqam program, where they, go over Surah al-Fatiha, they do some arts and crafts, but then they also do something very beautiful related to Ramadan. You have teenagers, where we have brothers like Ayman Pasha and brother Hassan Ihlihil, ICC and ICEV, putting their resources together. And alhamdulillah, we're even getting some of our local community members and our local scholars to speak to the community, to give them some of their input on what they've experienced in this month of Ramadan, this very unique month of Ramadan. So please, if you have, inshallah, the bandwidth, if you have the blessings and you have the financial capabilities, please support your mosques. Please support your Muslim organizations, the educational, the humanitarian, whatever it may be. We are doing work, inshallah ta'ala, to make sure that Islam has a print, right? It has its own footprint in this soil of America, right? Imagine how difficult it was for Muslims to get their footprints into every area that they expanded into. Now we're in America and we belong to this culture, we belong to this land, and Islam belongs to it too, inshallah ta'ala. And this is how we solidify our understanding as being Muslims wherever we may be, whatever land we may be, whatever culture we may have. We submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it needs our support, inshallah, collectively. Not just the hours, not just the knowledge, not just the know-how, but also the finances, inshallah. So inshallah, you'll stay tuned with us for the rest of the month of Ramadan, and inshallah, we're going to be looking forward to reopening the masjid soon, inshallah ta'ala. It is a discussion that is being had, and it is something that all of the imams in the valley are trying to coordinate as much as possible. We don't want people to go into the masajid with discomfort. We want our masajid to open, and to open fully, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jumaa Mubarak.